Bow.
What? You were supposed to say something.
Something. Hey, we're back. Third Coast in full effect. Today we are this glorious Monday. We're gonna full send.
Yes, we are.
We got our beverages on deck. No ice. And so we're coming in
Hot
tuna.
Cold, just like Louisiana weather. Cold in the morning, hot in the evening.
But less skaters. There are skaters about.
There's a few of them,
but not as bad as one of the
previous episodes.
Yeah, this today's episode is 245, correct?
Yes.
Hot dog. So like with this one, we have another call-in special guest. Good old boy from we got an Indiana hand coming through clutch, and super excited about it. And we're about to give him a ring here in a second. Talk about him. He's an independent artist. He makes all types of music, right? Like he's
yeah.
Because I've listened to like maybe 10 different things, and it's like there's a certain realm.
It's like very alternative style.
Yeah. So he's very talented, up and coming. I guess you can say up and coming. He's been doing it for a while. So we're gonna get this old fella a call. We'll introduce him in just a hot second. You hold on. You hold on, because we're gonna get there. We every time I get back in the box with Joe, I gotta readjust.
I like it.
Get back in there. Got to get in there. Now, Joe,
and you do sound good. I am worried about the mic over there. In the camera view, y'all can't see it, but it's suspended from a shelf in the corner.
Hey, it is tight. It is tight as a tiger. But
are tigers tight?
I
ain't a big tiger fan. I prefer lions. I think lions are cooler than tigers.
Do you think of...
Do people still use the word tight? Is that still a thing?
Tight as a tiger came from Austin Powers. He's a gold member. He's tight like a tiger.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's tight.
I was laughing about that movie the other day with that big when he plays the big fat man. Fat Bastard.
Fat Bastard.
Yeah,
yeah,
shit's funny as hell.
Yeah, well, he played Gold Member as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he played a bunch of characters. He always did like a cameo of himself in different characters and stuff. And that's like Eddie Murphy used to do that a lot. I mean, I guess he still does. But
Tyler Perry does that shit too.
Yep, exactly. And I do enjoy when because like that's hey man, like.
You gotta step out on
that's some talent.
Limb.
Yeah, that's some talent, man. And those are classics, definite classics. Like Coming to America with Eddie Murphy, he played like separate characters on there and shit too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
What's that? The restaurant in there, McDowell's
restaurant. Yeah.
I like. He plays one of the old men in the barbershop.
Yep. Sure do. Do. All right.
Don't y'all love the wormholes? Welcome back, listeners. Thank y'all for being a part of this wonderful show and through these years.
All over the place. I mean, like if you're still tuning in at this point, hey, you already know what was expected. We're gonna tone down. We're gonna be on our P's and Q's, and try not to make a bad impression on people, because that's something we're trying to do from here on out. Is keep making friends. And not really so
just
much. I can't be honest openly because I just sound like a degenerate. So I'm gonna try to be on my best behavior. So, but Joe, we got it. We love Indiana. Indiana's a great state. And we have a young gentleman, young musician. We love music. America loves music.
What happens if he hates Donald Trump? You hate that intro.
I mean, I feel like everybody. I mean, if it's an impression, it's either
it's your new leaning impression.
I'm not. Well, I don't think it's a great impression. I just think it's kind of funny. But I'm not making fun of him. I'm just, doing an impression. But some people do it to make fun. It's just, within the context. But we got to read the room. Okay, we got to read the room. We talked about this.
Speaking of the room, I know the listeners can't see, but I put a picture of me, you, and Terrence from the first void up there. I don't think you can see it from the corner over here. Top left corner.
Top left.
Where Mr. Steve is. I put a picture of Mr. Steve up there, too. And
I can't see it. I see like a corner of it behind that stud.
So if you look to the left of it, that's a postcard that Chuck gave me from Zycordia, and you can actually, it's like a stencil for you to customize and color it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I left it in its original state and just put it up there in a frame.
Hot dog.
Oh, and I ordered an alien that pops out of the wall. So it's like an alien head with two arms, and you like put it on the wall so it looks like an alien's popping
So it's like
out the wall.
a mounted alien.
Yeah.
I fuck with it.
I don't know. I was like thinking maybe put it like hanging from the ceiling or some stupid shit.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down with it.
Temu,
hey,
you gotta get it in before the tariffs. You know what I'm saying?
Tariffs, we love tariffs.
You like how it's like, okay,
don't,
to business, to
dude,
business.
Don't give me an inch. I'm gonna go a fucking mile with it, dude. But okay, we're about to call our guest. I hope he's ready.
I hope it sounds good too.
I hope
all goes well.
All right. Let's give this a shout. Remember having to pay for long distance?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Oh, not much. Just kind of hanging out. Happy all my stuff for the day's over with. Well, all the stuff I didn't want to do.
That's right, man. Hey, real quick, though. How old are you?
31.
31. Okay, so you do remember whenever we had to, pay for, collect calls or, paying for long distance and stuff like that?
I mean, I was never allowed to make them, but yeah.
Oh, well, I was chastised for doing it back in the good old Yahoo chat. What was it? The playing pool, Yahoo pool, and then finding a pen pal who wasn't an elderly man, and then oh, this person's actually she seems cool, but yeah, I had tore up some phone bills with extensive out of state calling and stuff. So I was wondering if you ever remember that.
I'll tell you what. I was about 12 when I got my first flip phone, and I was dangerous. And that's an understatement when it came to the ringtones. Because remember, it was like $2.50 a 10-second ringtone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember them days.
Yup.
Yeah, that's what made my phone bill go up.
What was it? Free nights and weekends. Oh, what about paying for minutes and each text message counted as a certain amount? So if you sent a text message just on the old schools Nokia brick phones, you had to send an extensive. You had to use all of your text. That way you'd get your money's worth about it.
Yeah, and you had to make every message count.
Definitely, yep. Yeah, I remember those days, man. That was
free nights and weekends, too.
Free nights and weekends, man.
What was it, after 9?
Yeah, like that.
Yep, after 9, dude.
we lived in the
Are we
Stone
old?
Age.
Yeah,
now.
we actually, hey, dude, you're in the same realm as us, and yeah, we're past the point of no return.
Oh no!
It is it's a snowball effect from here on out.
I actually went to Goodwill probably a week ago and got my daughter a Walkman.
Come on.
Yeah.
Was it the yellow one?
No, it was just something you would have gotten at Walmart, probably
Okay.
$10 back in the day. And I'm like, so you've got this Walkman, and she doesn't know how to use it, doesn't know you turn the little volume thing up or down. And I'm like, what CD do you want? Now that you have your own Walkman, you can listen to CDs for the first time. I want Journals by Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
And that's what she got.
Hey. You gotta make Princess happy. Joe has 2 daughters. and I have a daughter myself, so like we already know how it is, Bubba.
Oh yeah, she just turned 13, and man, if I didn't feel old before.
Yeah, see. All right, so let me introduce you. So you are Aussie Bear, right?
Correct.
That's been your long running pseudonym, alias, your handle as you go by ever since you started your musical journey, or how did that come about?
Okay, so I don't know why, but when I was about 16, I'd already had the nickname Ozzy that a coworker had given me, and I liked it because no one had ever given me a nickname before for my name Austin. So I went by Ozzy for a little bit, and Skype was a thing, right?
Yeah.
And I needed a name. I was a little emo kid, and you know how it was in the emo days, like with the
Oh,
Hot
you
Topic stuff.
better believe it. I actually used to be a
It
manager at Hot Topic.
so right on. So like Skull remember that?
Yes, sir.
So it had to be a cute name, but kind of like scary, edgy. So Aussie Bear ended up being my Skype name, and then I decided to pursue music seriously, and made a TikTok because I had a couple buddies say, TikTok, you would probably take off on there, which it's somehow my strongest platform. And I needed a name and didn't know what to use, so I just brought back Aussie Bear from Skype, and everyone started calling me Ozzy, and it got to a point where after 20,000 followers on TikTok, I'm like, I probably shouldn't change it.
Nah, that's part of you now, man.
Yeah, so it was like, I guess, grandfathered in.
Yeah, because if you change it, then people won't trust you no more.
Who's this guy?
So, like, okay, going back to Skype real quick, did you have, what was it, AIM, AOL Instant Messenger back in the day?
I did. I had AIM and I had MSN. MSN was my go-to.
Do you remember your AIM handle?
I think it was Skater Austin 182, but it
Hell
was
yeah, dude.
SK8ER.
See, that's iconic, man. Because like because mine, what was mine? I think mine was just Kobi with a K, Kobi '09. Because like I chose '09 because that was the year I was supposed to graduate, and I hadn't graduated yet. So like I was like, if I don't graduate in 2009, I'm
gotta quit.
I'm gonna have to own this thing for like ever.
Right.
Yeah, man. So how long have you been like musically inclined? Like when did you like take off with it? Where did you start? Did you start with a guitar? Did you just start singing, or give us a backstory about that?
Okay, so when I was 10 years old, I started taking drum lessons. I was in 2003, and I was the weird homeschooled kid, so I had all the time in the world. Here in Indiana, you legally only had to do 2 hours of schooling a day
What?
if you were
Damn.
homeschooled. Yeah, so I'd get my school done, and then had all day to practice. Had my lessons once a week over at the Antioch Christian Church, and after 6 months, my drum teacher came to my parents, and he's like, I just don't have anything else to show him. There's nothing I can teach him.
A
And
4/4 can only go so far.
yeah, and well, what happened was it ended up being a bunch of jam sessions because he was the minister of music.
Okay.
So, we were up in the church rocking out like some Def Leppard and Quiet Riot, Linkin Park, whatever
Right
I
on.
wanted to learn, he would show me. And I missed the jam sessions because I was the homeschooled kid, so I had the free time, but I didn't really have the friends, which was a blessing and a curse. Socially, it sucked, but musically, it was a huge win.
Because it help you focus on your craft and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, like so I started taking guitar lessons at 12, just because I wanted an excuse to keep jamming with my guitar teacher. He's a super cool dude. He was in a band in the 80s, touring around. He met and hung out with like Bon Jovi, Def Leppard. He met Paul McCartney, all the greats.
That's awesome.
Right. And I just got obsessed, with music. and I had a little cassette recorder, and my little sister had a Barbie karaoke boombox.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So what happened was, talking about how it all started, because audio engineering is my main gig now. Like I record myself, all the Aussie Bear stuff I do. And so I'd record the drums on the cassette recorder, and then I would set up my guitar amp with the little Barbie karaoke microphone, in between my guitar amp and the cassette recorder. And then I would record with the Barbie boombox while jamming with myself on literal cassette tapes.
So with the Barbie recorder, how close were you putting the mic to the amp? Were you like putting it right on it, or you had to put it away from it because it was like so hot?
I put it in between, like literally right in between the cassette recorder and the amp.
Okay.
The little Silvertone practice amp I was using.
Right on, right on. Hey man, everybody got to start somewhere. I think the first amp was because I tried bass one time and I was like 12 or 14, and it came with a VHS tape, and I had like the combo TV that had the built-in VHS player, and so it had like the practice VHS. So I string up the bass, put in the tape. And for some reason, it was like a little Rogue 4-string, and it came with a little teeny Rogue amp. And I kept like the guitar just sounded terrible, so I didn't know. I just like, oh well, the tuning pegs. You just turn the tuning peg until it sounds good. Well, I twisted the tuning peg off of the low end string, and it was my buddy's guitar, and I just gave it back to him. Like, look, man, this ain't for me.
Oh, did you ever go back?
No, man. I had ended up breaking my arm at 17 doing some dumb things. I wasn't even skateboarding. I was running with the skateboard and broke my arm. And so me, Joe, and a couple of fellows we went to high school with, Joe had played bass at the time, and we had a couple friends who played. A couple friends who played guitar, and then another friend who played drums, but they needed a singer. So I took up singing, and back then we were really big into like screamo and emo stuff. We were like Bayside and whatever, and we covered like Norma Jean. It was a bunch of covers, Under Oath and stuff like that. And
my childhood.
So I took up singing, and I didn't really fall into screaming correctly until I think I was 17 or 18, and I finally figured out, the technique and the muscle movement and things like that. But whenever we started from like 16 till then, it was trash, dude. It was so bad, dude.
Hey, the instrumentals were on point. That's all I got to say.
You guys killed it, man. I just sounded like a dying rat, and I would just ruin my voice because I just thought, that's what you're supposed to do.
Well, yeah, it's what it sounded like, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You're talking about a lot of bands I was listening to when I was like 15, 16. Do you guys remember Skylar Drive?
Yep. Sure do. That Ginger Boy. Hey, I don't give a dang. I've seen him live, and the dude can wail. I mean, he. Oh
yeah. Jack's great.
Yeah, that's right. His name is Jack. No, he could wail. But shit, we grew up with let's see, what was it? Bless the Fall. They were a Christian oriented band. Let's see, Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, they were real nice too. I got to meet them in Biloxi at Taste of Chaos.
We
nice.
Also we jammed a whole hell of a lot of Alisana back in the day.
I had a black shirt that was 2 sizes too small, and it had 2 pink flamingo skeletons on it.
I had the same shirt, bro. I got videos of me wearing that shirt, and it was an extra small, and I couldn't breathe in that thing. But the tighter, the cooler you looked,
So the reason I bring up A Skylit Drive, do you guys remember that first EP they dropped in 2007 called She Watched the Sky?
No, I got into them. What was it? Wires.
And the Concept of Breathing.
That one. That's dude. Their drummer. Their drummer is phenomenal, dude, and that's where I was introduced with them. Like,
You
but
know,
I didn't. I don't think I ever listened to their previous like EP or anything.
well, as far as the drummer goes, I think I'm Not a Thief, I'm a Treasure Hunter is a great song for
Okay.
his work. But what I was going to say is Jordan Blake was the original frontman. He was in like Hey Nightmare, Where'd You Get Them Teeth, The All-Star Diaries, The Reason for Broken Wings. And he's actually featured in one of my songs.
Really, get out of here, man.
Yeah, Crybaby featuring Jordan Blake.
Come on. Okay. Well,
Oh,
yeah, we're
well,
gonna. I'm
that's
gonna
really
definitely
cool.
check that out because we're hitting all like we
We
we would have
going
been
old school
friends.
here.
Yeah, we would have been in the same group, bro.
Yeah.
like
Right. The
like
weird
straight
thing
up.
is it's kind of like an emo rap style song, which it was weird that I did it, but I was really into like Nothing Nowhere and Little Lotus at the time.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do something kind of like that. And I hit up Jordan and I'm like, he'd already agreed to do a song with me. So I'm like, well, what do you think about like EDM, like sad boy stuff? He goes, bro, I am the sad boy. Yes, let's do it.
What about what was the old stuff that Sonny Moore had did after he he did a side project from whenever he was still in From First to Last. He was doing like Glowworm and he was doing it was before he even started doing the dubstep stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Barely, because I just found out about Sonny right after he was out of From First to Last, and I saw he was putting some weird stuff on MySpace.
Yep, that's
Some weird music.
it was kind of like some experimental like EDM stuff. It wasn't really like it was like kind of like trancy and stuff. It was I don't know, that was like kind of like our deal, man.
Ooh,
Like,
MySpace.
hey, let's bring it back, dude. A lot of bands, a lot of like the heavier deathcore bands, they're bringing back that old school style of just like down tempo, just loud snare. The guitars kind of sound like shit, but it still jams. You know what I'm saying? They're bringing back that old school style, like the 2006 to 2009 type of deathcore and metalcore and stuff. And I
when
like
Bring
it.
Me the Horizon was metal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's a very spot on, man. And like it's like people like us, because like Joe and I we were listening to like Bleeding Through also, and like I think like the heaviest stuff that we had got into was like maybe like Lamb of God and things like that. But whenever I had met these guys, they had introduced me into like post hardcore and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, like this, I do enjoy that because I can't sing clearly. I would give 4 of my best toes to be able to sing. I would trade that for screaming any day, man.
What
really
happens
would.
if it costs you 6? Would
Look, I would still do it, man. I wish I could sing beautifully, man. I really wish I could. Cause like back in the day, whenever Ronnie Radke was like in Escape the Fate, and then he had gotten in trouble, and then Craig Mabbitt from Blessed to Fall had took over. Like I had looked up to like Craig Mabbitt from the original Blessed to Fall, because that was like one of our niche albums growing up, and I was like, man, I wish I could do both, but
You talking about the one with the stairway on the front of it?
yeah, that the Black Album.
Yeah.
I forgot what the name of it is, but
I was more of like a mainstream emo kid, like Silverstein, Escape the Fate.
hey,
Oh.
man, hey, Silverstein, what was it? Arrivals and Departures is still my
Yes.
favorite Silverstein
Oh,
album,
dude.
dude.
That's their
It's all
best.
just
That's their
vanity and
best.
greed.
Hands down, man. What was that other way? Scary Kids. What about those
Scary
guys?
kids scaring kids, yeah.
That was some stuff too, man. See, like,
Yeah, they didn't get too much stuff out though before their singer passed, did they?
nope. What about oh snap, Alexis on Fire too. That was more of the post stuff though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like when y'all getting like y'all diving into like subcategories and stuff, that's where I get so
Well,
lost
see,
with music.
All right, well, old boy from City and Color, was it Dallas Green or whatever?
Yeah.
He was the singer from Alexis on Fire.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
See, I've already learned 2 new things
And
this
now he
afternoon.
he just does like sexy acoustic stuff now.
Do you guys remember From Autumn to Ashes?
Weren't they
Yes.
heavier?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but that Holding a Wolf by the Ears album, it was basically like Silverstein, but 95% screaming to that kind of post-hardcore music.
Hey man, that stuff was hot, dude. Like that was I do miss that because I always tell people about this growing up, and from like the 2000s to like the 2010s, you could still
Hmm.
be excited about music because you were always like finding a new band. Like, dude, have you heard of these guys? And now everything is like kind of like there's so much music out now. It's not as exciting as it was whenever we were
It's
kids.
kind
You
of
know?
mundane.
Yeah, well, it's also like whitewashed. Also, it's like, oh, well, what do you play? Oh, well, we play like prog rock, or all right, okay, well, what are your influences? This and that. It kind of just it's not special. Like there's the good bands
Right.
that's been around for like 20, 30 years and stuff like that, and then you have to for me, I try to look for like some like southern hardcore because that's still like a niche thing to me. Like some like Every Time I Die
I
type
was just
stuff.
about to say Every Time I Die. Yep.
Yeah, like those guys, and like when you get into like the chaotic mathy stuff, or like some Dillinger stuff, that's where I look for like complexity. Like that's the type of music that I was like, man,
Yeah.
you need to check these guys out because this is different. But yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff nowadays is kind of, I mean, there are hundreds of fantastic bands, but shit, we were there when all these genres were like made. Like we remember that, like
When they're pioneered.
exactly, yeah, man, that's
Yeah,
awesome,
Hawthorne
dude.
Heights, like just all the good, sad. It's like sad pop punk, basically. Like when I try to explain, because I call it emo music at this point,
Oh, it
and
is, yeah, it is.
yeah, and
it's,
when people are like, "Well, what's emo music?" I'm like,
it's
it's
sad.
it's like Perfect by Simple Plan, but with more energy. Every
Yeah,
song.
yeah, old AFI when they were still kind of punkish, and then
Yeah, yeah,
they transitioned into that more mainstream type stuff. Like what was
yeah.
that? From like, whoa, call the angels. This razor blade was meant for
Oh, I can't
me.
even.
You remember that one, dude?
That wasn't
Dylan.
on Sing the Sorrow, was it?
Dude,
No,
it may have been actually, dude. Dylan played that in the car coming back from the boat the other day, and I was like, dude, I haven't heard this song since I was literally like 16 or 17 years old. And I'm like, I
And
know,
they take you right back.
dude. I was like, I know every word of this. I haven't thought of this song in forever because like with my buddy, he's really big into punk rock and stuff like that. But when he plays AFI, he plays like the old stuff. I'm like, yeah, man, like this is it. This is it just like reverses me back in time. Like, man, I need to, you know, I need
It
to.
reminds us to an easier time.
It was such an
That
easier time,
that's
man.
gonna kill me trying to think of the band because I know it.
It's AFI, but the name of the
No,
song,
that's not the song you're talking about. That's in that horror movie. It's sung by somebody
Dead
else.
Silence.
Yeah, but that's not AFI.
That's not AFI. That
That's
was
another. I can't think of who it is you're talking about.
Aiden.
Aiden. Yes, that's what it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey,
Aiden.
you know, last year, I don't know why, but I don't even know what that album's called, but the one with One Love and Teenage Queen.
Yep.
Oh, dude, every day, just for no good reason. I guess just the vibe, it felt right.
Dude, that was man. I wish I could send you a picture, like my senior picture, and you would understand my mindset.
You got my number.
Fuck yeah,
When
man.
you send them that picture of me, you, Brando, and Dorian out when I'm wearing that Norma Jean shirt
But you talk about laying up against
on
the
the
fence.
You have the skateboard and shit.
That was I didn't flat iron my hair that day.
You guys want to talk about emo pictures? I went to an Attack concert in 2009 wearing a Medic Droid shirt.
Oh, Medic Droid. Oh,
Who's
my
Medic
goodness.
Droid?
They're the First Sure band.
Dude, Joe, we're gonna take a whole evening, and we're just gonna go back in time and like just we're gonna regret half of the things we listened to, but
Now,
we're gonna go back to them.
I do want to point out that it's in the works, and it's been in the works for over a year, but I've actually been talking with Chris Donathan from the Medic Droid, trying to get a feature worked out, and between my schedule, his schedule, it's still being worked out.
Is he like? Are they like from that area, or is it y'all just doing like a recording compilation through like y'all sending files back and forth?
Just sending stuff back and
Okay.
forth. Because Jordan Blake is he was in California, so with I've done stuff with like Mikey Sawyer from Misfortune and Adam Rainey from Dropout Kings, and they're from all different places. I think Mikey's out of Oklahoma and Adam's out of Arizona, I think.
Man,
But it's just a whole lot of file sharing.
That's what I was going to ask is how do y'all go through that process to record that? Do you just like record it at your place and he records it way over there and y'all just swap files and put it
Yeah.
together?
or he sends him the backing track with no vocals on it, and then he'll probably layer it on, send it back, and then he'll layer, or you'll do a separate track of just vocals over the backing track, and then that way he can mix and master it, right?
So it's a little different depending on the artist, but I think ultimately it depends on what you're expecting of them. If I have a part that I want them to sing, I will just send them the song with the part I want them to sing, send them the lyrics, and then I'd have my vocal in it as a reference for what I want them to sing.
Okay.
And then I would send them a copy without my part so they could sing to the instrumental. But most of the time, I just like to let them do their thing. So what I'll do is we'll work out how much of the song they're comfortable with tracking on. Some people just want to do a part. Some people want to be all over it if they really dig the song. And so usually I'll go ahead and get as much of the song tracked as possible. It'll be a full instrumental. It'll have all my vocal parts written and at least plopped in the song. And then I'll leave a section or two and send it over and be like, this is the direction I have in mind, for the topic, the vibe I want, and, give it hell.
So like with your tracking, are you programming drums? Are you playing drums? And you're recording the bass and the guitars on it, right?
Yeah, I do everything. As far as the drums, they are programmed, and
Using Studio One?
I use Contact,
Okay.
and there's a company called Solemn Tones that has a really cool drum machine. I use that on my Ghost in the Attic album. And it's crazy that I have to program my drums, but I don't have drum mics and I don't have a lot of XLR cables. I've got the interface for it, but
Well, that's one thing that I have struggled with in the past with with the damn drummers, man. There's not enough drummers in the world, and right now I got some old friends that I used to play music with. Actually, my old guitar player from my last metal band, and then the original drummer from my metal band before that I was in, and we don't have a drummer, so we're gonna end up just doing like a studio EP or something. Maybe I think we're gonna go with like something progressive metal, like it's like Tesseract or something like that type stuff. Like
you could always pull an ism off and just have everything but the guitar and vocals backtracked.
right, yeah. And so like I do understand because I've had friends like all over. I've actually seen guys just go up there as a 3-piece, and they just had like a drum track playing. Like, you guys are ballsy for doing that. Like, I don't know if I'd ever play live with a drum track, but hey, if you want to jam, you're gonna do what you want. You do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
I think it depends on how bad you want it.
Exactly, man.
And unfortunately, you're right about there being a shortage of drummers and bass players because, I've been told by a lot of people that my singing is not terrible, yet I've never been asked to join a band for my vocals. It's always been, oh, you can drum. Oh, you're a bassist. Guess what?
Dude, I've been turned down so many times just because I couldn't clear sing. They're like, "Oh, you can scream, great. Well, we want the dynamic. We want both." I'm like, "Well,
You're like, well, back in my day, we had two guys for that.
exactly. Like, shit, son. But I mean, like and there's been plenty of times where like I've tried to play with people just for the sake of like playing music, and sometimes you really can't do that because you can't force the energy that's like within you and make something that you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And there's been plenty of times where I'm like I had to like step away, or it just didn't ultimately just work out just because of that fact. I'm like like my style. Everybody has their own influences, right? Like, not just because you're a
Yeah,
musician doesn't mean you can write music with other people.
absolutely. And I think that's been one of my biggest problems is I've always turned into the control freak when it comes to being in a band. I've always taken it too serious, like 15-year-olds, like other people in the band partying and missing practice, and I'm over here feeling like a manager, like, well, if they keep missing, we're gonna have to kick him out, and well, who are we gonna replace him with? Well, I'll just do his parts. We don't need to
Yeah.
replace him.
Like,
And but
go ahead. I'm
but
sorry.
I was just saying that's why I kind of did Aussie Bear, because I started doing my own stuff at like 14, once I started recording, and it was nice not having to compromise, your ideas and all the creative liberties of just getting to do it on your own.
Hey man, I was creeping on your YouTube, and you have like what over a hundred videos on there, but you do some videos of you talking and explaining some things. So like, what is the ratio to music versus the videos that aren't music?
So the channel started out around 2012, just primarily being music. It was 100% music. It was stuff I did, uh, bands I recorded that allowed me to promote through my channel. And then, I had an 11-year battle with alcoholism, and finally got sober. I'm just now a little over 8 months sober.
Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Thank,
Congratulations.
thank you. And in that time, I got right with God, and things started changing at that point. Things started getting like it wasn't so much about me, but I still felt that I had a duty, a job to do to the fact that I had a talent with music and I had a little bit of a following, that I shouldn't make it all about me, but I should still utilize my resources. And so at this point, it's mostly music, but I still want people to understand, as far as my faith is concerned, why I am able to do what I do.
That's
So I
that's,
like
that's beautiful, man.
thank you.
I respect that a whole hell of a lot.
So, do you think that your musical backing from the church influences your style of music to this day?
Only in a sense of I'm much more mindful of my lyrical content now. If you listen to the Ghost in the Attic album, the swearing is toned down significantly. And, the couple that do have swearing in it were from before I really started taking it seriously with my spiritual journey. But it's got me really thinking about, well, okay, I've got an audience. What do I need to say? But it's got to be real. It's got to come from a real place. And I don't know, man. I felt it heavy on my heart that God wants me to push the depression issue, the mental health issue, which is why like I embrace the emo music, and I try to keep it clean, but I try to keep it very serious and, the subject matter heavy so that the people that hear it can relate to it, that they don't feel so alone. And so I think the spiritual aspect reinforces that.
I like that, man. A lot of the people that we surround ourselves with, because we have some dear friends of ours that we grew up with here in our hometown. They put on like they're from here, but they live in New Orleans, and they're a big staple musically in New Orleans, and they host their own music festival here, and like
Nice.
all the proceeds is donated for like mental health awareness each year, and that's something that we promote ourselves because there there needs to be more awareness for that.
Especially among men. Like, it's okay to have feelings as men, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and I just want to say, out of respect for you, we've toned down our usual degenerate selves out of respect for you because I'm a sailor. Joe's Joe,
Everything.
and just out of respect, we're trying to out of respect for you to really behave and be coherent and understanding and
Basically, Kobi's just trying not to curse a lot.
yeah, man, it's
That's all
Well,
that is.
thank you guys so much for the courtesy. I really appreciate that. But I do have to throw out there, um, Jesus said it's not the healthy that need a doctor, it's the sick. Like he knows we're people. He knows we're humans that do human things, and I'm not perfect. I swear a lot. The only difference is I'm consciously trying to do better.
well, that's like the main thing is like the be the better version of yourself for yourself and for your faith because I'm spiritual in a sense. Not
Hmm.
innocence. I'm definitely not innocent, but
None of us are.
in a sense of innocence, with my thought process or whatever, it is there. There is that bettering yourself, not for yourself, because you can't spread love without loving yourself, and I always
Right.
tell people like any faith is better than having no faith at all. No matter what you believe in, as long as you're passionate about it and you believe in it, then you know why not spread a message?
Right. And Jesus only gave us two commandments, and one of those two was love one another.
Yes, sir.
It's so basic and so hard to do. And I'll be honest with you guys. I've had people laugh at this, so if you guys laugh, it's totally okay. My New Year's resolution was to learn to love everyone.
Hey, what did you ever see Tropic Thunder? Not
I've
Tropic. No,
seen
was it Tropic? No, not what's the Semi Pro with Will Ferrell?
that is so funny you did that. I get those titles mixed up all the time.
Okay,
Yeah, I know
well,
semi-pro.
all right, well, Semi Pro, ELE.
I already know
Everybody,
what you're about to say too. Yeah.
everybody love everybody.
He just screams it. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
and it's like in the locker room, but that's like that's we say it all the time, and it is relative because like it's
Harder said than done.
yeah, but it at the same time it is very easy to love your neighbor and to love somebody or to just share compassion and show compassion. It's just
Then why do we all make it so hard?
because people are selfish and they are sad and they love being sad and mad about something. That's what it
I
is.
couldn't agree more.
That is like their everyday crutch, and they don't look for the small things in life to just because like I try to tell people like if you want to be happy, you know what it's going to take for you to be happy at this moment in time, and it is like people think it's the hardest thing to do, but the moment you put your best foot forward on that matter, it is easier said than done.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
it's easier done than said. That's what I mean. Yeah, gotta go back. Yeah, but yeah, it's not as hard as people think. They're just it's a lot of pride. People get caught up with their ego and their pride, and they just don't they don't see it like that.
I don't have anything to add. You took the words out of my mouth. I completely agree.
I appreciate that, man. Like I said, we get on some feelings, man. Ain't nothing wrong with feelings, but when only time that feelings ain't involved is when you're on the job because that's that's where you bump heads with somebody. Like, hey, you leave feelings at home. We're here to do work. I'm like, yes, sir.
Leave your feelings at the door.
That's right, man.
Ironically, I have an album called or an EP called Self Help, and the song Jordan Blake's on is called "Cry Baby."
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out, man. That is, I'm so glad that we went down that wormhole a while ago because I was like, you know what, I need to go down the. I'm gonna mess up my YouTube algorithm and bring it back to like the 2000s.
Well, look, dude, if you want to go down that rabbit hole again, I actually, for the about last year, I've been talking with Melissa Green from Millionaires,
Come on, dude.
and she, I don't want to say too much, but she's agreed to work something out with me. So that is also something in the works. I'm trying to get like all my little emo heroes, you know?
Yeah, but you're keeping it true though, baby, and I love that, man.
Got to.
Definitely networking for sure.
Yeah, but he's like, you know, that's stuff in the back pocket that, you know, I haven't thought about damn millionaires in like a decade. And I'm like, oh, all right, man. Like, you know,
Yeah.
fucking, I mean, excuse me, go ahead, man. Like, that's why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you have to lose to reach out? And that's something that we've struggled with in the past about the podcast is like reaching out. Well, what do we have to lose? You know, you never know until
You just gotta ask.
Yeah, man, you just
Well,
gotta ask. You know.
you know what? Since we're on the topic, I'm gonna throw this out there, and it's not as a flex, but I want other people to be outgoing too.
Yeah.
So I did this thing for a while on TikTok. I have like over 300 videos on TikTok. It's ridiculous, and like up to 5 videos a day sometimes, you know. And they were all like 15 to 30-second snippets of songs, but I would take requests. And Bowling for Soup is one of my all-time favorite bands, and I'd already gotten the attention of Simple Plan and Mayday Parade, Little Lotus, 3 Days Grace, you know, a lot of bands I grew up with that I really liked. And, you know, commenting, duetting, like a Trey duetted one. But I was like, man, I really want to do a Bowling for Soup song. And I kept putting it off because I didn't know which one to do. And I didn't want to do a bunch of them. So I thought, how crazy would it be if I got the guy that wrote the songs to tell me which one to do, to request a cover? So I got Jarrett's attention from Bowling for Soup, the vocalist and guitarist, and I was like, all right, which one? And he got back with me and said, do Lovesick Stomachache. So I did it. And I put at the end of the video, if you like this, you owe me a follow. Oh, he did.
Hey, come on,
So
man.
he followed, liked, reposted, favorited. And then I started a Lemon8 account recently, you know, through TikTok. And he followed me on there, and I didn't have to ask. And it was really cool. But my point is, go for it. Like, you never know what's on the other side of the question.
That's really cool.
It's like something I've always wanted to do ever since I had like taken up metal vocals. Is like whenever we were growing up and you know listening to all those bands we had previously listed and stuff like that back in the day, you know, you would go to when you went to YouTube whenever there was you know no ads on YouTube back in the day.
Oh,
You-
the good days.
You would see all of these guys just doing vocal covers of all these bands, and I'm like, man, I've always wanted to do vocal covers, but I never knew. I mean, I got a general idea of how to do everything with like the mixing and having the track just a track, and then just doing or having the vocals turned down, and then the instruments turned up and the recording and then the video. I got a pretty good aspect of it, and then I have some friends who would help me. It's just something that I never put effort into doing, but it's something that I've thought about doing for like a decade, man. And it's you know one day I really would. That's like something I would really enjoy doing because I know that you know it wouldn't just be like terrible, but it would you know it would seem fun.
Well, you should definitely go for it, and make sure to let me know when you do, because I'll be in your corner.
Hot dog, man. I appreciate that. I mean, it's like the last band, the last metal band I was in was like 10 years ago. But I'll send you a link to my last band and let you see what it was about, man. It's kind of
Please
nuts, yeah. But brother, man, like this, I mean, I always hate to stop a good interview, dude. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to come back and like retouch, because like the amount of stuff you put out anyway, we can always come back and do an interview on like upcoming releases and just touching base with you.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'd love to.
Can you give us your handles where the listeners can find you at on your YouTube and Instagram and TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok and YouTube are just Aussie Bear. And then Instagram is Aussie Bear Official. And then Facebook is also just Aussie Bear.
And that's
Luckily, I was able to.
AUZZY, right?
Yeah, AUZZYBEAR.
Hot dog, man, dude. Like, brother, like I appreciate you, man, and I love you, and thank you so much for like letting us do this. It's been
Love you guys.
like,
Thank you for having me.
We always talk about this. Whenever there's an interview that goes like swimmingly, this is the reason why we do this. 'Cause this was like too easy to talk to you, and it's fantastic, and I can't wait to do it again in the future.
It's definitely been the best conversation of the year for me so far.
Hot dog, dude. I love you for that, man. That's fantastic. Oh, do us one more favor and throw out some words of wisdom for us.
For God so loved the world, he gave his only son, so that whoever believes in him will not perish, but have eternal life.
That's beautiful, man. Everybody check
John
out
3:16.
John 3:16, man. All right, Ozzy, dude. I appreciate you, man, and you take care of yourself. All right, we'll be looking forward to hear from you.
Hey, you too. God bless.
Yes, sir. You too.
Bye.
Wow.
That was good.
That was see, like this is why we do this. This is why we do this. He would have been one of us. Like growing up, he would have been in our same clique. We would have played music with that guy.
Yeah, we would have.
Definitely would have.
He would have been in Lizzie Burns with us.
He would have been in Lizzie Burns. For those who don't know, that was our first band that
Oh, wow. Dude, bringing back memories, huh?
died horribly. We had fun back in the day. But yeah,
you held really well. I'm surprised. I'm the only one that really cussed. I said the F word one time.
I said it one time.
So, I mean, that's
said it one
the
time.
listeners out there might
I
not
was
know
really
what to
trying.
do with themselves.
I know you guys realize that I was trying. I'm doing my best to
Third Coast
behave.
Podcast.
Aussie Bear. Check him out on everything. Hell of a guy. Like that was beautiful, man. That was perfect. Fantastic.
And after you are done checking out Aussie Bear, make sure to check out Third Coast Podcast on all major streaming platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and
I'm gonna do
5,000 W's.
Look, I'm gonna do this.
Can
you edit it in the video?
thirdcoastpodcast.com.
Every time I move my hand, just throw up the
Oh, and big shout out to our YouTube channel. We are now at 387 subscribers.
Moving on up
Yeah, we've
to get recognized.
had almost I think the last time I looked at it, almost 100,000 views in the last this is the beginning of March.
And that's just one. That's just one platform.
Yeah. That's not counting everything else. Like that, you seen how that TikTok short did?
Yep.
We had two of them that one got like almost 200,000
Yeah,
views. That's wild.
that was crazy. And it's just like a funny meme stuff going on. That's Joe. Joe, I tried to mess with some CapCut
I
shit.
don't know.
You got to show me some stuff, man,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I can come up with it. I can.
You just got to find it. I don't know,
I know,
where it comes from.
I know,
A lot of
man.
it's like work or like family related or something.
But you gotta show me like when like when you go to do it, what you're looking for, and this and that or another. We're gonna work on that. But Joe's the mastermind. Joe is the meme king, dude. He's got it. He's got it wrapped up.
the
man.
video meme king.
Video meme king.
Yeah, it's a different monster now. It used to be like just like memes on
just like a still picture and
Now it's like video versions of it. So it's just like just like you used to create them. This is like the new version.
Yeah.
Because they used to have an app called what was it called? It had a meme. You just made memes on it, And now the cap cut stuff is kind of like that.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah, those a couple of them, but they always had like the watermark
Yeah.
at the bottom and stuff because you're using their image and
But you can pay for it and
Yeah,
get it
yeah.
off type, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah. But that was big shout out to Aussie Bear from Indiana. Indiana now.
From
Man,
Indiana, we love the Midwest.
you have to bring it back.
Awesome, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's kill this one and come back with another one, dude.
Yeah.
245 Aussie Bear.
245.
245, man. I was thinking about that on the way over here. 245. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
Meeting all kinds of people. The good,
No.
the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. We've had some good looking guests on here.
They look way better than we do.
Oh
for damn
yeah,
sure.
most definitely. That's why I'm wearing my damn sunglasses. Like you don't see me. I don't want you to see me. I feel vulnerable.
Well, for Third Coast Podcast, I'm Joe. What it do, Gators?
I'm Kobi. Glad to be back.